Hello, everyone. So we're back today, and we are going to be talking about the Industrial Revolution and much of our modern world is going to get started, so let's just kind of jump right in. So let's get to the definition. Okay, the definition of the Industrial Revolution is the rapid development of industry that occurred in Britain in the late 18th and 19th centuries, brought about by the introduction of machinery. It was characterized by the use of steam power, the growth of factories, and the mass production of manufactured goods. So that's our standard. That's from the Oxford English Dictionary. I figured I'd use that one because, it's English, and this is the basic idea, okay? And this is really where we get a big push for the modern world. But I have an alternate one, is this is the time where we started the process that led to our robot overlords. So, look at the meme, tell me what you think, and we'll go from there. Okay, so this presentation and many of my presentations about industrialism are going to be about Britain because they were the first out of the gate. They were really the dominant ones, and that's what we're going to focus on today. Okay, so why did Britain have this advantage? What did they do right, if you will? And first and foremost, they are going to have a nice, solid population. For what they're going to need to do, they are going to need to have a lot of people. And if you look here, now go from there, but from the 1700s, really from the 1600s through the early 1800s, you're going to see this big move here. Okay, if you look at the mouse on the right side, this is going to be crucial. Now, agriculture is very important. There is going to be a boom in agriculture, which will keep prices low and plenty of food for most people, at least in the first half. There'll be issues later. British people now have more money, and they could actually buy manufactured goods. And with this population, you're also going to get a large amount of people for work. So that all is really going to help. Next is capital, okay? They have lots of solid trade, okay? And as a result, people have the capital or the money to open factories and buy machinery, which is going to be invented during these centuries. Banks are going to provide credit as well as solid credit systems to extend loans to people to get this going. And in the end, because of the early focus on, say, things like textiles and stuff, which we'll be getting to, they are going to have like surplus money. So you're going to see people being able to take that extra money and invest it in things, okay? So having the cash for stuff. The next one is entrepreneurs, okay? There's going to be a political situation in which England will allow just greater freedoms for people who want to create businesses, okay? And then the government will do certain things to encourage those entrepreneurs to take risks, all right? And the potential profits were so high that people were actually willing to try, okay? And that's really, really crucial. And England has lots of stuff. Okay, the two most important things you need to have during the early Industrial Revolution would be coal to fuel the engines, and then iron to build everything. And they had it. Look at the map on the right. Look at all that coal. Look at all that iron. And then you're going to get like canals and railroads and all sorts of stuff. I mean, they absolutely have it all. And then finally, they need markets. They need markets to sell stuff. And they're going to create, particularly in Britain, the triangular trade, which we've talked about before. And of course, a lot of that built on the backs of slaves. Now, that eventually will change to different types of labor, as I will get to in Europe in particular, and then you'll get some things with imperialism, but they had lots of places to sell stuff, okay? Because you can make everything that you possibly want, but if you can't sell anything, like, what's the point? And so really what they're going to then start to do is they're going to consolidate work. Now, I'm going to talk factories more a little bit later, but the early step was this idea of getting everyone to work in one spot, okay? And that you focus your capital on buying machines and opening up or building an actual building in which people can work, okay? And within this, you're going to develop wage-based labor, which people will typically be paid per day. Okay, and that is the first step of consolidating this labor. You work for me, you are paid per day that you work, okay, and then we're going to get the machines into it. Now, those machines that are really going to be crucial to all of this are going to be, sorry about that little blip there, is going to be cotton, okay? Cotton is going to drive all of this, okay? And in the late 1700s, we have a number of inventions that are going to help this. And we just talked about some stuff like the cotton gin and things like that before, but the idea is that everybody needs clothing, guys. That's why cotton is so important, okay? Because everybody needs clothing and you use cotton cloth for a lot of different types of things. And so we need to have it, right? And so the first guy that's going to come out of the chute here is going to be James Hargreaves, okay? And he's going to invent this invention on the top left here. This is the spinning jenny, okay? And the spinning jenny is going to be able to produce yarn from cotton at a massive level. Now, this is human powered. This is going to be crucial, but that's okay. It's going to get better as they move on. But you have multiple spindles that can actually take cotton and form it into yarn in sometimes 8 or even 10 different yarn threads per bolt of cloth that you were working with. And so now we can produce a lot of thread. Cool. Next step is going to be Samuel Crompton's mule. Okay, this is this guy over here on the bottom left, okay? This is going to combine the ideas of the spinning jenny and the water frame, which we talked about before, to increase yarn even more. So Hargreaves, you can make a lot of yarn, and then down here, you can make a lot more yarn. And then we're gonna get the power loom, which is over here. Oop, made a mistake. Let's fix it. Sorry. This is the mule. This is the power loom. My bad. So mule, because combines the spinning jenny. See that spinning jenny thing. And here is Edmund Cartwright's power loom that can make fabric as fast as the yarn is made. Okay, and this is huge. So, and to give you an idea of how important this was, in 1813 there were about 2,500 power looms in England, right? And right about in the early 1820, and then then by 1850, there would be 200,000 of just these contraptions that are built, right? And to give an idea of the impact of that, in the 1820s, there were about 250,000 hand weavers in Britain, using the regular loom, okay, or John Kay's shuttle and stuff like that, right? By 1860, that was down to 3,000. Okay, so you put together a nation that has the wealth to invest, that has the people that want to create business, that has the markets to sell everything, and then we're starting to get this machinery that you can put it all together, and that's what and why everything is going to start in Britain, and why Britain is so crucial to the Industrial Revolution in a time period that we just haven't looked back from. Okay, make sure you complete your assignments, guys, and I will talk to you soon.